Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Intelligent Gentleman. I am your host, Milt Walker. Thanks, everyone, for joining us again and supporting. We really appreciate you. Um, Today, I got a special guest. It's always good to connect with this brother. I've known him for a long time. We've been friends, since we've been in school, since it's back in high school. And, the brother's always been powerful. So it's always good to see, my fellow kings doing their thing and doing their part to help raise the consciousness of the collective, And so, without further ado, I want to, I don't know, what he might want to tell y'all, but I call him Jimmy Luciano. That's what I call him, So, but go ahead and introduce yourself to him, brother.
Hey, how's it going, good people, man? Peace and peace, peace and profits, everybody. Man, I go by however how you know me, man. The brother might know me as Jimmy Luciano. That's really on some hip hop music type of era in our life. You know what I'm saying? Call me JD Jimmy, but right now, I go by Jizzo Lou for those in the new, and the new is now, and the now is in the knowledge. You heard me? So, you know, however you feel comfortable, address me, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got to put it all out there, man, so people know. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, so just one of the things that we kind of connected on, and it was so supreme how it came together. Where it was we was both on. I do technology.
Right,
I'm in the technology field, and that's one of the things that I'm passionate about out here in the community is teaching computer science skills to help elevate our people and economically empower our communities, and so, one day I'm just scrolling through the gram, as we do, I see my
right.
partner, he posting up there talking about, hey, if y'all want to learn about cryptocurrency, come check me out. And so, since then, man, we've been chopping it up, man, but, it's been some very powerful conversations.
Most
I
definitely.
like to call them evolutionary conversations,
Right.
and it's something that, I really wanted the people, my audience, I wanted people to just kind of be aware of and get to know what you got going on and what's happening in your world. And then we'll talk about, how everything connects on that. So like tell them a little bit about what you're doing, what you're trying to do, and and we can, go into it from
Yeah.
there.
I mean, it all starts with like for me, it was like opportunity. We went through a real transitional time with our people when we was going through, with the George Floyd situation and all the cops and the trying to, the revolutionary thing, and we were trying to do the same thing, trying to get our freedom. We were looking for a way to freedom, whether we was marching or protesting or posting things on timeline. That's all cool and fine. I got no problems with stuff against that, but we had to bring stuff into the reality, into the real world, where we can make a change. You know what I'm saying? And within the change always starts with self. You know what I'm saying? Without getting into too much of my background or anything, I'm just like any brother that comes from any community. We're a product of our
Right.
environment. And I realized that it ain't that people from our communities and our environment don't want to do the right things. It
Right.
was always based off the opportunities they had available to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
You can't get people to stop doing one thing if you don't present them with the opportunity to do something. So for me
Exactly.
personally, it was just like a transition. So I started with a mentality of like trap transition. You know what I'm saying? I call it trap transition, where I can talk to the brothers and the sisters still in the streets, still trying to find a way, but they don't realize that some of the skills and gifts and the habits that you create are the same skills and gifts that people have in these Fortune 500
Right.
companies, and just it's just the way we apply ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you can talk that goes into the preaching and talking about the knowledge. And, after a while, that falls on deaf ears with our people. They don't want to hear about that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's all about the right now with what the society's put on us. It's all about the shine and the flash and the quick and the right now. So I just thought about like I gotta find a way to get into these people's ears. So you know what I'm saying? And I just took what I was doing with myself and little steps I was making. It was something that didn't happen overnight. It was just little things by watching the YouTube video, changing my timeline, like we talked about the other day, changing my
Right.
timeline on social media and who I'm getting inspired by and what they're posting. And you know, I got into investing in different programs and different courses and classes. And I found out we need our freedom through financially. We can never completely be free if we don't have financial freedom. We're always going to be
Exactly.
dependent on them for something to provide us some type of program. You know, the money was hitting the streets. You had the stimulus program going on and all types of things. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, that money get people's attention. And it just so happened I had a partner of mine, man. He had been telling me about Bitcoin for years. He had been telling me about specifically Bitcoin, but he had been telling me about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for the longest. You know, you hear it, but you really don't get into it. And I start seeing a buzz and the build on it. And I start getting into it and checking out and just really communicating with brothers like me. We just all of a sudden was kind of like how we say, we was like on the same frequency. We was all looking for a change or something different to do. So the cryptocurrency start buzzing. I start educating myself on it. I start doing something we call due diligence on it, and I start getting into it. And I just see, I know how the social media and timeline works on our people, how to use it. And so sometimes we get misled by what we see. So it was kind of like I was seeing it on my timeline, the hype, the positive things about the cryptocurrency. And I follow a brother named 19 Keys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I
He's
seen his stuff. Yeah.
yeah, with the BWO. So they was just talking about the cryptocurrency early in the game, and I'm seeing it, and then I was just like, I need to get in this, and then I start seeing the results, and I start educating myself, and I start saying, man, this really is just simple math. Once you do your due diligence, you know what I'm saying, for as the money side of it, I can teach this to my people because we throw away money all day long. And crypto was just a certain part of it, you know what I'm saying? That's just what I was focused on, and that's just what grabbed my attention and what had everybody's attention at the time. So I started getting into that, and so I just started telling my brothers, and I started posting about it, and I started getting responses from it. You know, people started hitting me back like, "Hey, what you know about investing in this? Like, brother, you know about this? Tell me about that." You know, and I was like, "Man, there's really." And a friend of mine, it just started with a post. He said, "Hey, brother, when you go, where can I sign up for the class?" And I ain't have no classes at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that he put out there. It just manifested, and then, like the people around me drove to do something that I think we all can get into with the cryptocurrency. The long answer.
Right, right, right. The long answer for those who are wondering, But yeah, definitely.
Anytime if
It's
I
it.
get to going, man, you know what I'm saying? I get to talking about it and I get into it, man, and I like people knowing the details and the step for step for everything.
Right, right. And we need that. We need to break it down to the point where, people understand what's really going on, right?
Right, right,
Because we're so far, and I teach this all the time. We're so far behind the curve. We got to start with the basics.
right,
We really got to start with the basics, because if we don't do that, then we're going to be lost, because we try to come in on this level, and we just don't know that, it's so much more to it than that, right? like
right,
like for instance, what you were talking about, the investing, and the brothers who were talking about, 19 keys, they
yeah,
talk about investing, and they talk about real estate and all these things.
right,
When you really trying to reach people, you got to meet them where they're at, right?
exactly,
So some people, they might have an understanding of what's what in the world, but there's going to be those others that you got to kind of bring them up in stages to help them reach that level of understanding, so that they know
right,
what's really going on. you
right,
know and so, yeah, definitely, man, definitely. But yeah, like you said, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We hung out together. We've seen things from the street level.
right,
we know people who still dealing with it.
right,
So it's amazing to me that a lot of times we have to actually look past the glitz and glam of what people see, because
Hard, man. It's
it's
hard to
so
get
much,
people to
man.
look past the results and they want the end. They want the shine. Nobody want the
Right,
crown, man.
right.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, because it's and in one breath I understand, but in the next breath, it's like, wow. I mean, are we really that far gone where we don't really recognize that it's the same patterns over and over and over?
Yeah,
We
we
we get pushed into this stuff, and we just get sucked into it, and get led from one thing to the other, one thing
yeah,
to
man.
the other.
That's a whole systematic, deeper story that
Right,
we can
right, right,
get into. That's been placed upon our
right,
people in our communities, man. So I try to stay out that bag because we'll be
right, right.
down in it. But
Yeah,
I know I see our people trying and they want it
exactly.
and they want an opportunity, man. It's just not shown the way. Or we, like you say, we get things late in the ball game when it's already being used against us. And that's
Yeah.
why I kind of came out with it with such an urgency at a time in the moment. Why it wasn't so much light on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, and that's why it's so important, brothers like you, brothers like myself, that we join together in tackling these things, because again, it's on us. You know what I
Right,
mean? It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It's on us. We
right.
gotta help those who need the help, and that's a universal principle. You know what I mean? And it's
Exactly.
not just for any one
Universal
person.
unity. We need
Yeah,
unity.
exactly, exactly,
We need
exactly.
unity.
So you came up with a program, right? You
Right.
took some of the things that you was learning and some of the things that you had going on, and that's what you decided that, hey, well, I'm gonna make a program, and this is what I'm gonna focus on with that. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about that program.
Well, I came up with the program. Can't exactly remember the time or where I came up with it, but it was just a way I came up with. It's called SIP. SIP. But there's a duality to the SIP. There's one side of SIP. There's the S is for savings, and the I is for investing, and the P is for profit. You know what I'm saying? But I also understood that you just can't tell people where they need to go with their money if they don't have no understanding of the money, if they don't know how money works, if they don't know how money can work for them. You know what I'm saying? They
Right,
all our habits are bad spending habits. You know what I'm saying? We like to spend our money to show that we have money. So before you can be able to sip, I also like to say there's another, like I said, duality is you have to self invest first. That's what
right,
the S is for. You have to self invest first with a pH. You know what I'm saying? Like the
right,
pharmacy got it on us. We didn't medicate our own self. So I do the P with a pH, Herman. So we do it
right,
like that, and so it all comes back to self for me, man. Like I I can't say I've done a complete 360, you know what I'm saying, but I've been striving, to make change, and then it all starts with yourself. So before I can tell people what to do with their money, they need to start with themselves and get an understanding what you might want to invest in. It might not. I like to tell people you got to find a way to turn your passion into a profit. Take something that you already love to do and find a way to get paid for it. Find a way to be independent. But all that is about investing in yourself. And it doesn't have to be just a financial thing. Most definitely, one of the most first things you must invest in yourself in is your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can invest in your spiritual self. You can get yourself together with whatever belief system that you live and practice and live on. You know what I'm saying? You can invest in your body with your health. Where it doesn't all have to be focused on money. So you start with yourself, you self improve, then you get an understanding of more things, and then we can get to the fun part, and we can start getting to the money. Because a lot of problems we have with the money is not getting the money, it's keeping the money.
that's right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole system, right? I
Right,
mean, it's not just, like you said, not just getting the money, it's keeping it. And
right,
so, that's part of those basic building blocks that we need, and we need more people pushing it out there. And it's a larger conversation. You got a lot of people out here that's doing that,
right.
but
You got
not as
most of
many
that going
people.
on at the same time. It's kind of like it's in the air. When you're doing things and you're elevating, you start to see you meet other people's at other frequencies at some time. So you know how sometimes we like to say it's just something in the air. You're doing it over here. There's a person out there in Dallas doing the same thing that you're doing. There's a person up there in New York. There's a person on the other side of the world feeling the same way you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes we got to come together because we're all meant all is one. We're all meant to be together. You know what I'm saying? So if we can just like I said, that goes back to the unity. You know what I'm saying? Not being shame and the pride and swallow your ego, man, and just do it for yourself. And when you get yourself right, then the people around you will be affected. You do it, you get yourself together, and your family be affected, then your community will be affected, then your city will be affected. But we always, like I said, we was talking about going to the end result. We need to start with self and just go from there.
Right, exactly. So what can you tell us? So you told us kind of what the program is. Give us some of the details as far as like specifically what are some of the things, the aspects that you're going to be talking about. Like, we talked about the making the money and saving the money, right?
Right,
Or using the money wisely.
right.
But tell us a little bit. Give us a little outline of what people can kind of look forward to when they come to the class, and then we'll get into some of the aspects of what makes up uh, that
Okay.
portion of that. Yeah.
Well, see, right now, S.I.P it is in progress, exactly. So right now,
Right.
I started off it's a complete program. S.I.P is the saving, investment, and profit, self improvement first. You know what I'm saying? That's the base program. But then within that program, we had different classes, and I started off the classes with the cryptocurrency for beginners. So I had to get the people educated on what they're seeing on their timeline, what they're reading, getting the reactions of people seeing about they're making huge amount of money in quick amount of time. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted the people to be able to get educated on it. Maybe not directly, like I say in my class. I'm not a financial advisor. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to take my,
Right.
my advice was I'm not gonna, lead you in the wrong direction. But me personally, I started off with the crypto, but I just don't want it to be all about crypto. I have other brothers and sisters that are in the real estate that, you might your investment power might be wanting to get into real estate. I have other brothers that, you might want to get into the stocks and trade and options. I'm not going to be the only one teaching classes. I have brothers like
Right.
yourself and other good brothers and sisters that have reached out to me that are willing to teach. And we need to get back to that and teaching each other what we need to know, because we know what the schools aren't teaching our children. And that comes back to the future. And that's the most powerful investment you can make, is make an investment in your children and their education and their future and their like financial literacy. I believe that's going to be the next class that we have coming up after the crypto segment. We'll be able to go back and visit if I see that, there's enough people in demand and asking for it. But we're going to keep it moving so we just don't get stuck on one thing. So we're going to get into
Right.
all types of different programs, as I got people that are ready to teach people that's willing to learn.
Right. Right. Yeah. And so, everybody's throwing around this term crypto this, crypto that, right?
Right, right,
And me being in the IT, um,
right,
what I try to teach people, and what me and you, what we connect on, and what we will be teaching people, through that portion of the program, is what the technology is built on. Like, what is cryptocurrency, right? So go ahead and give them like a basic definition of what cryptocurrency is, and then I'll go into the details about the technology on how it's built and everything.
right. Yeah, the bill. That's what I'm trying to get into. See, he's right.
Right. Right.
But yeah, cryptocurrency is basically a decentralized currency. You know what I'm saying? And when I say decentralized, the money that we use now is a fiat currency. It's paper. It's backed by nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can be printed as much as needed. So it's centralized, means it's controlled by a government. So what the cryptocurrency is, basically, it's a decentralized currency that is based off of peer-to-peer transactions. So that means if there's only 50 Bitcoins, I'm using a very small amount to keep it understanding. If there's only 50 Bitcoins available, and the only way you can buy a Bitcoin is if another person sell it. You know what I'm saying? And every
Right.
transaction and everything is marked on the blockchain where all the transaction takes place.
Right.
And then, you have Bitcoin. Is just that was the first major cryptocurrency. Where basically, when they used to talk about cryptocurrency, they were speaking specifically about Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was told that it was came out at 2008, but the brother Milt here informed me that it was around a long way before that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
technology for it.
Yeah, so because, and a lot of people don't know that, but and the reason why is because it wasn't really. It's just like the internet, right? The internet
Right.
has been around a lot longer than what people know it as, right? In its
Military.
current
Right.
form, right?
Right.
But it was actually, and the guy that I do the financial show with on Saturdays, you
Right.
know, he was actually part of that. Like he played a part in that whole process, right? So, you know, what people don't know is, you know, the technology that's behind it, right, which is blockchain. So
Right.
the blockchain technology is a way, and you spoke about, and I love when people talk about this, is about decentralization, right?
Right.
So what it is it's technology that takes many nodes on a network and turns those nodes into authentication uh, you know, parties, right? So, and it's different on different networks. They do it for different purposes, right?
Right.
So, if we talk about Bitcoin, that what they're doing is they're verifying transactions, right? So that's how it got turned into, you know, a cryptocurrency,
Right.
right? But it's built on the Ethereum blockchain network, right? So the
Right.
blockchain is where all of the transactions and everything are happening, right? But they have tokens on the blockchain
Right.
like Bitcoin, Ethereum, which are the coins, which is what you're paid in, that maintains the value. And it maintains true value. Like you said, it's decentralized. It maintains true value because it's based off of whatever the asset is that it was, you know, it was actually brought into existence for, right? So,
Right.
say for instance, you know, and I remember back in the days having a computer that where I started getting into it. You know, I had a wallet, I had a Bitcoin wallet, and it was like this. You know, nobody knew what was
Right.
going on. They didn't even know what it
Right.
was. You know, and it was like, okay, you know, so I started messing around with it. But you know, it's very taxing on computer hardware, right?
Right.
Which is why now, and I don't
The
know, you
mining
know,
portion of it. People have to
yeah,
has to
yeah.
run.
So you know, because it has to do a lot of calculation, right? So
Right.
when it's doing that, you know, a lot of computing. So you know, part of that, you know, it pretty much kind of it almost bricked my computer, you know, which just means it almost destroyed it, right? So, you
Right.
know, I had to come up with, I was like, oh, you know, I'm just going to take this off because I'm not trying to do this. I'm trying to use my computer. I'm not trying to mess it up, right?
Right.
And but back then, you know, I didn't know. I had no clue. You know, I was just getting
And what year
into.
was this? What year was this?
This was probably like 2003,
Okay.
2004. You
And like,
know,
I
it
don't
was
want to
it was
scare the folks away. It's been technology has come a long way since then. You know what I'm saying?
it's come a long way. This was the beginning. It's just,
that
and
was
again,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
it's
This is
just like and it's
black
just like
dark
Google.
time. See,
And
that's
it's
why
just
I was
like
scared of it at first. Because everything
yeah,
I heard, not scared of it, you understand, but I had to get an understanding to see where it was going. Because everything that I heard that it was used for, I wasn't quite ready to get that access to, things like the dark web and,
right,
things
right,
like
right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what. See, even before that, that's why a lot of threat actors now. That's why they ask for it in Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff because it's been around over there for as long as it's been out, right?
Right.
Because that was a thing. That was how people used to trade value. You know, and it would have took a lot more Bitcoin than it does today, you know, to actually pay somebody, right? But
Right.
you know, because it was what people might consider some of these meme cryptocurrencies, you know, they're like less than, you know, 1,000th of a cent
Right.
worth, you know, in real money. That's how Bitcoin was. Bitcoin was like that at one point,
It has the
but
growth potential.
it had the growth potential, right?
That's what I
So
want to get people to understand. If you get in
see,
the ball
yeah,
game early, you have even it don't have to just it's more than just Bitcoin. If you miss Bitcoin, there's many more trains coming. You know what I'm saying that you can catch. You can get on, get off, and get back on. You know what I'm saying. But the
right.
growth potential is going to be way more significant than you having your money sit in your savings account and you gain that interest on your statement every month that says 0.00001%. You know what I'm saying, that you've been holding in your account. You need to have your money in motion. You know what I'm saying? Money is a currency, must stay in motion.
Right. And but the other interesting thing about blockchain is it's not just used for cryptocurrency, right?
Right,
You have different blockchains that are built for different purposes. Some of them are built for creators, right? So they
right,
buy and sell and trade creative services and products
right.
on there, right? Some of it, like one that I just learned about recently, Compound,
Oh
which
yeah,
is it's still a Ethereum. It's built on the Ethereum,
exactly.
but but it's all about, trading
DeFi.
and interest,
Right.
right? Earning interest, so it's about
Interest.
compounding your money,
Like you
right?
said, compound. We put them two words together. We looking for compound
Found
interest. You know
interest,
what I'm
right?
saying?
Exactly. And so I mean, literally, and this goes in and ties both of them together. Because you mentioned, decentralization. They need people, they need developers, right?
Right.
To create these what they call DeFi apps, right?
Right.
So these D apps that they need, decentralized finance apps, right?
Right.
So they call it DeFi or they call it D apps. And so you got all types. You got games being built on blockchain. Like that's how deep it is now.
The future is being built on the blockchain.
Exactly. And there's another thing, and I'll get into this with you, and I know we had this conversation before, and I've talked to numerous other people about this too. But when you talk about things like autonomous vehicles and
Right.
having the capability of running the entire grid autonomously, right?
Right.
You need to have it where it's secure as well. You can't just say, okay, well, we're going to connect everything to everything, and then we're just going to have it to be like that. It's
Right.
not going to work like that because you still got problems like privacy, security, all of these things. The way blockchain addresses that is it makes you anonymous until it reaches until if I got on my app right now and sent you some money, sent you some Bitcoin, it it would nobody would know who it's going to until it got to you, and
Right.
then you were able to open that up, right? And the reason that's possible is because they have these long strings, right? And because it doesn't go by the traditional methods. It doesn't identify people by the traditional methods. So in order for you to actually hack or threaten the security of a lot of this stuff, you have to literally take down like a good part of the entire system. But not only that, you have to get past encryption that's harder to break than any regular encryption that's out there, right? So people typically not going to have that type of time on their hands or that type of power, computing power to be able to do
Yeah,
something
people ain't
like
gonna
that.
have the knowledge of that.
And they definitely ain't got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that we need people. We need people to actually come in
Exactly.
and be investors, even if you just want to just put your money into it. Just to be. They got like positions that's open on these networks for you to just be a person who puts money into it.
Right.
Because what happens is part of the blockchain, whichever blockchain it is, part of that is determining what the future of that blockchain will be. So the more money you put into it, you become a stakeholder in it, right?
Right.
That's the
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So you're actually making an ecosystem out of the technology, right?
That
And
stake is
so
like a double investment.
oh yeah, because you earn interest. You earn interest, and as the value goes up, of course, you're making money. And then
Right.
of course that makes more off your interest. So
Right.
all of these things that's so powerful, man, and it's such a great thing for you to be teaching this because again, it's one of those things that we want to know, but we don't really know, right?
Right.
So we need people who are gonna step up, do the due diligence, do the work, like yourself, and then
Right.
get into, showing and doing what you're doing, right?
Right.
Bringing up classes and teaching other people.
Right.
So tell me a little bit more about some of the other things that you're going to be doing with your program, because I want people to understand like this is a very dynamic program that you're going to be running, not just
Definitely.
yeah, not just the basics, but you're really gonna get into the nitty gritty of everything to help them get a better understanding about their finances.
Right. And like I said, right now, if the people who've been following me closely lately, I've pretty much been discussing the crypto and talking about cryptocurrency and education on that. Like I said, we're gonna continue to build on other things, and like you just said, the key word is about finances. So. The next phase of this thing is we're going to speak on financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? Because like you just went on, what you just talked about with the blockchain and DeFi and D apps and no's and things like. I had to keep my brain going to just to keep up. You know, you're educating me as well as I'm sitting here listening to you talk about those aspects of the cryptocurrency. You got to understand and teach the people the basics. You have to start with the basics. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So the next part of the thing is going to be like financial literacy. So we're going to learn about actually what interest is, because a lot of times we like to think most people knows what interest is. They know what APR is. They know about, you know what I'm saying, investments and how to get the right loans, how to build your credit, how to fix your credit. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to work on more things that the everyday man or woman is dealing with at this time. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into, like I say, before I can tell you where to put your money or direct your money, you must first understand what your money is. So that's where we
right,
come into the
right,
financial literacy. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
Most of like the crypto for beginning, my class on my crypto, I'm really just teaching the language of it, the usage and
exactly.
the basics and the growth, so you can be aware. So that seed is already planted within you. So it starts with a changing of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the S, going back to yourself. We're gonna start yourself and learn that. And a lot of you're gonna have programs that are like self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to cast stone or judge anybody to say what you need to work on or what you need to fix, but we all know within ourselves what shadow work must be done, what we need to do.
That's
So it's
right.
just going to be, I'm basically responding to the people. You know what I'm saying? If whatever the crowd is saying publicly or privately, because like I said, one of our biggest problems is our egos and our pride, and we don't want to say what we want to work on. But I mean, I've been so gracious of the reactions I've been getting for the people, man, and thank you for everybody that's hit me with a DM or hit me with a call or a text asking me. Y'all keep me going, y'all. This is like therapy for me also. You know what I'm saying? Y'all motivate me to do this to teach. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
only know so much, and that's what I started recognizing. I had brothers that they had, you might be in the auto mechanics, man. I got brothers with car clubs that they, you know what I'm saying,
right,
you can get into whatever craft or niche you have. All of that is an investment. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
get stuck on the money, but whatever your gift or your craft is an investment. But for I can speak for solid right now, you know what I'm saying? We're most definitely going to continue to do the crypto classes. We're most definitely going to do a financial literacy class, and I kind of want that to be with your children or with your teenager that is just now getting into the workforce or getting into the world. Because, like I said, without getting too deep, the world that we're going to be living in tomorrow is not the world that we're living in today. So we got to prepare our children for that. We got to present them and let them know about the opportunities. Like you said, with those IT jobs, they used to ask us what we want to be when we grow up. It was the same old basic, this, that, and
yeah, 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 yeah,
fireman,
yeah.
army, scientist.
Rapper,
We
singer,
couldn't do
you
nothing
know.
but shoot the hoop or be a rapper. You know how that's
Right,
what we
right.
supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Straight up the
Exactly.
street type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
power within this, they ain't gonna be able to hold the power within this down. So we can be great at anything that we choose to do. And all that starts with self. So I want to do the financial literacy more so with teenagers and the youth, so they can maybe learn with their parents what their parents can't teach them, or sometimes the kid don't want to listen to the parent just because it is the parent. You might receive it different coming from somebody else. So I want to be able to
Right.
teach kids about why when you get your first check that this tax and this tax is going to come out of your check. You know what I'm saying? How you going to be able to file for your taxes? Know about claiming yourself. Learn about credit, building your credit early. You can get into crypto early. You can get into investment. A lot of times in our community, we like to put an age on everything. We like to say, we're not you ain't ever ready to do that yet. But if your child comprehend, your child, you know what I'm saying? If we don't give these kids the benefit of the doubt, this is one of the most powerful generations of children that we had in a
Exactly.
long time, and they're being misused the wrong way. So we
Real.
dropped the ball, and I'm just trying to pick it up and do my part that I can to teach them in whatever fashion. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I say, man? I always say, it's just it's a disconnect sometimes,
Right,
between the transmission of the knowledge and wisdom,
right,
and that's in us and you right there in that same era. I feel this way. I know you feel this way. We're the bridge. Like we're the
right.
bridge. We came up right when everything was transitioning. So
Yeah,
like we
exactly. That's
right
what goes
we
back to like I was saying with the trap
yeah,
transition, man. We were like we talked about before in the conversation we had. We had the best of both worlds. We was able to
right,
live the end of the analog era and
right,
usher in the digital era. So
right,
we
right.
kind of remember how it was and are able to survive like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And we're also able to adapt to what's going on right now. problem is
Exactly.
what's going on right now. If they pull the plug on this thing, our kids gonna be looking like,
It,
which way do we go? What do we do? You know what I'm saying? We got so much into this follow and followers and things like that. Now I'm just trying to go back to yourself, invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? To prepare yourself, to arm yourself for what's going on out here in the future.
and that's the biggest point. That's the biggest point. A lot of people out of fear, they're like, I don't really want to deal with this because I don't know how to control it.
Right,
But if you don't ever try to learn how to control it, you never will, right?
right.
And I always tell people this too, like, technology is technology. No matter how you want to look at it, you can look at it digital, you can look at it whatever. But
Get rid of
technology,
the left, man.
the technology is technology,
You
and
can't pop
all
in that,
throughout,
you can't pop in that tape. You
right.
can't put in that 8 track no more, man.
And
Don't find
all through history, man, the technology, has always been with the more advanced civilization, right? So the
right,
advanced civilization, they have this technology, they're able to do this. This next advance in technology comes, and now the power moves over to that civilization.
right.
We're in an unprecedented age where technology and knowledge can be disseminated across an even playing field. It doesn't. You don't necessarily have to have a whole bunch of money to
Right.
get into this, to know this, to
It's the
learn this.
greatest, and that's why I kind of came with the urgency, because right now people think we got time to sit back and wait and relax. You got to realize what's going on. This is the greatest wealth transfer going on
Tell them,
right
bro.
now. If you see
Tell them, man.
behind me is in the stars, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
This
right.
stuff was written, man. You know what I'm saying? Without getting into it too much, it was already, we're seeing collapse of the large. Now is the time to be getting it. You know what I'm saying? To position
Telling
yourself
you.
for to be prepared for whatever's coming. You know what I'm saying? Not even
Right.
on no doomsday, gloomy type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Nah. We don't
Just
ever talk that because there's no
right,
end to the
right.
eternal.
I
They don't,
just
they don't
yeah,
hear that
exactly,
here.
exactly. You feel me? I just
Right, right,
clarify that we scare people sometimes when we try to go talk the real. So
right.
yeah, man, it's just all about preparing for the future and position yourself and knowing what tools you have available to you. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Because things are going quicker and faster these days.
And really just taking advantage of the opportunity, right? Like if
Right,
you really just break it down, we're in an opportunity. I mean, there was an opportunity to get in, when the internet came,
right.
people like, oh, it's the .com, it's the .net, bubbles and all this kind of stuff. People's like, it's gonna crash, and it did. It crashed, right? But then after
Right.
it crashed, shoo,
Back up.
man, out of this world, astronomical. That thing was out there in the nebula that's behind you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's one of those things where people, they have a low tolerance for pain when it comes to learning something new. It's like, oh, if I get it wrong one time, I don't really want to touch it no more
Yeah.
because I don't want to, I don't
It's
want
that in the
to,
attention span, bro. It don't produce
and that
actual
comfort level,
fruit.
right?
Yeah.
It don't feel comfortable. It's like, okay, but I can go
It
back
doesn't
to
give
this
you
and
a
feel
round of
comfortable.
applause. It doesn't give you a pat on the back. It
Yeah,
doesn't give you a like.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Try to
yeah,
find,
yeah.
it's crazy.
No instant gratification. You
Instant
gotta,
gratification,
you
man.
you got, yeah,
Microwave love. Yeah.
yeah, man. You got to. It's something that you gotta actually invest your time into, right?
Right.
So it's I mean, but what is more important than investing in the future? Investing in our children, investing in our own knowledge, right? So that we
Right.
can transmit it, throughout, wherever. Because even if you don't have kids, or even if I was talking with one of the community leaders, and she's got a program where she's teaching kids computer science skills too.
Right.
But one of the things she was around, dealing with the civil rights movement, right?
Right.
And so she spoke about it too. She was like, you always got to look at it like this. The children, they need to be molded into just a very basic person that just understands that I can learn, right?
I can think for myself.
I can think
Yeah.
for myself.
Right.
From there, through exposure, then you find whatever it is that's your purpose, right?
Right.
Whatever it is that's for you, you find that through your exposure, right? So the more we try to stay into places where it's like, okay, I'm comfortable here, and less exposure we have, we're lessening the impact that we can really create at this point in time in history. You know what I mean? Just worrying about the comfort level. But you got to start with the basics, and that's why I'm so glad, brother,
Right.
that you're doing what you're doing.
and, and
You know,
that's and that's exactly what I did, my brother. I took myself and I made myself very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You have to take
okay, see,
yourself. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying, when you speaking on the when you speaking on how you speaking, you know what I'm saying, that the words you're using are just hitting home with everything that I've been experiencing and going through, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like I took myself off out my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I put
right,
myself out there. It kind of challenged myself. I said, man, if I put this out there into the social media world, you know what I'm saying? I got this. They say I can't be no cap. I can't put no cap in my rap. You dig? So I got to follow up on what I'm doing. So it put the pressure on myself to make me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's like I told you, this is my first time on any social media platform going live, you know what I'm saying, do
yeah,
this under this platform. But I just want to take a minute, you know what I'm saying, to thank you and appreciate you for inviting me on, man, and communicating with me outside of this, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, man, y'all understand how much a text, a like, or just when you see somebody, it's you, hey man, I like what you're doing, man. I appreciate that, man. Hey,
absolutely,
keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I
exactly,
don't expect. We got to stop looking for. I learned something, you know what I'm saying? You got to stop. You got to go where the love is loving you at. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So stop looking for and paying attention to the negative of the people that ain't doing what you think they should be doing or feeling like they owe you something. Because if you're doing it
right.
like that, you're doing it for the wrong reason, man. You're supposed to be doing this head down, head up. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Straight ahead.
all in.
If you with me, you with
It
me.
if you in it, you're in it. If not, we
Yeah.
still going.
Yeah, the
It's
door is always open, man. I'm just always looking
yeah,
for a good build, man. You know, and you presented that with me, man. You blew my mind when you told me about the cars and the driving by itself and the centralization and everything. It's like I said, it gets deeper and deeper. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm trying to teach the beginners at the same time I'm learning things, and it's just to me, it's just a beautiful thing, man.
But it's constant elevation, right?
Right,
Constant elevation.
right,
So as you're teaching and they're rising, you still rising, and then it just keeps going. And
right,
that's how. And that, I mean, literally, that's how I see myself.
right.
That's why I keep learning. That's why I'm always learning. I always got my face somewhere, and I'm learning
Yeah.
something.
I tell
Like
my kids,
always, man.
if you ain't learning, you ain't living, man.
Right,
You
right.
ain't learning, you ain't living, man.
And just to finish that thought, about the autonomous cars. These, they're building, they got this infrastructure plan now, right?
Right.
Where they're building out the infrastructure of the United States. Um, that's something, and that's a whole nother topic, but when it comes to that specifically, you know, they're building out all of these networks, all of this technology. There's going to be, electric charging stations along the roads all throughout the United
We're gonna have
States.
electric charge stations in space in a minute, ain't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be everywhere. I was just talking to
Right,
somebody the other day about space elevators.
right.
It's
I think
gonna
they
get to a
advertising in space right now.
right.
You can get your billboard, get ready to get, and you can pay for it with
Oh,
cryptocurrency.
what you know about? I was there's an article out right now. NASA is they're talking about this asteroid that they're looking to mine that has, I think they said 600 quadrillion uh, dollars worth of gold in it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so people so much in a lack mind state, they think that, okay, well, we don't have enough of this, so I'm just gonna give me this, give me this. No, you gotta think way bigger than that, because
Bigger than
there's
that.
so much that we haven't even tapped into yet.
Right.
We, not to mention the human potential.
Exactly.
Just being able to, these same networks, these blockchain networks that we're talking about, some of them are for medical care, some of them are for they could be the networks that somebody actually learns how to cure, a lot of these diseases out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
mean, it's so much to do.
Right.
There's never a lack of anything purposeful to do. But like I said, the challenge is getting people to go out of their comfort zone, to learn about all of the things, and the things that they may be interested in doing, right?
Right.
And then when they get interested in doing it, then go out and do it, and then be great, you know. But you never know if you just get stuck in the same cycle, you know, over and over and over, you know. But that's a big topic, man, and definitely, man, I appreciate you coming on here and talking with the people, telling the people,
you, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
yeah, telling people what you're doing, and look forward to being a part of the classes, and helping out wherever I can, bro. You always got my support fully, so no doubt.
Brother. Likewise.
No doubt, man. So without further ado, man, we're gonna go ahead and close this out, man. But definitely, man, I appreciate your time, man, and it's definitely valuable, man. And we're gonna keep on sipping, man. We're gonna keep on sipping.
Most definitely. Hey, one more thing, man. I do have seats still available. I have a free crypto for beginner classes tomorrow. Yeah, actually, I got one tomorrow, man. If you can go on Eventbrite, I'll post the link probably on this whatnot later on this evening. I still got a few seats available. It'll be at the Cunningham Center at the Columbus State in Columbus, Georgia. You can follow me at Jizzo Lou on Instagram. You can look me up on Facebook as Jimmy Luciano. They won't let me change my name, so I'm just got to ride out with it.
Hey, but hey, it actually fit, right? Yeah. I started to say, Jimmy Crypto, Jimmy Crypto, So yeah.
So man, I my classes right now I'm teaching for free, so in support the classes, man. I have SIP merchandise available. You know what I'm saying? This is the lady, man. I like to also give my demonstration of why she's having a drink right here. She's having the SIP, and also the reason behind SIP, because I was on vacation having the SIP when I came up with the concept. You know what I'm saying? So the S in SIP represents the bottle. You know what I'm saying? When we like to save up our money, I want the list to represent by celebration. The bottle represents celebration. We like to pop bottles. When you win championship, you pop bottles. You know what I'm saying? And and the I is your glass. You know what I'm saying? I know how good y'all can see me on the screen, but the I is your glass,
you
know what I'm saying? Your investment. So you know what I'm saying? When you save up your money, man, you like to save up, you like to pop bottles, have a good time. You take a little bit of what you've been saving up and you pour it into your investments, you know what I'm saying? And then you have you a sip and you take in your profits. And you know what I'm saying? And then you enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now it doesn't have to be an alcohol beverages, you know what I'm saying? Because you see the bottles cop. It can be a glass of water.
right.
That you want to take in, man. But that just coincides with the logo and the merchandise of the lady having the sip, so you understand when I'm asking people to come have a sip with me. You know what I'm saying? It's just the metaphor for save, invest, profit, self-improve first. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Appreciate your support for the Intelligent Gentleman podcast. Definitely, we'll have this in on the website, and we'll make sure we get those links up there as well to make sure people can go and check it out. And and then just share, like, follow, put it out there, and don't stop. I mean, it doesn't stop here, because the brother's still gonna be doing his thing. So it's gonna be available. So definitely with some more stuff coming out soon. I think the brother coming out with a book soon. I mean, hey, he got all kind of stuff coming.
Hey man, I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One time, we got to put it down, man. Oakland Park, South Side in this.
That's right. That's right.
Put it up in there one time.
OP.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep the G version on your thing.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Love you, all right, man. Love you too, bro. All right, man. And we'll see y'all on the next one. All right. Y'all take care. Peace.